Hi all and welcome to this week's Forex overview video. In this video I'm going to be going through the top major currency pairs and a few other pairs and maybe commodities of interest for the week ahead, and just explain what our thoughts are and to build a sort of a watch list for the week ahead. So always, first thing we do is we look at the dollar index. We want to know how the dollar is performing or how the dollar is being affected in the current markets. Just go to a weekly chart. You can see that we're creating nice higher highs. We're in an uptrend. We're just in the phase 2 of that uptrend now, which means that we're pulling back into previous structure support, which is around this $95 area. Go to the daily chart. We had some buyers re-enter the market on Thursday. Didn't really sustain that, and the market pushed lower again on the Friday into the close of the week. Now, if we just go to a 4-hour chart, this looks really nice at the minute. Potential double bottom pattern forming with a little bit of a higher low. If we just go to the closing prices, you can see that we've got a potential higher low, and in that case we could anticipate the market to re-enter the kind of bullish status, re-enter the phase 1. And there's a couple of things that I'm going to be waiting for to before even looking to buy the US dollar, and that is the double bottom pattern here to play out. So you can see that we've tested 95, we've come back up, we're testing it again just down in here. Now the double bottom will complete if we get a break and close above the neckline just in here. So I'll be looking for that to happen. Then I'll look for any kind of pullbacks to continue buying the US dollar. I'm not going to do that just yet. I want to wait for that confirmation as well. We've got this little bit of a trend line resistance running down, which has been effective over the past few times. So again, we could look for early signs of buying to come in if the market breaks above this in here. Euro US dollar, if I just jump to the weekly chart, again we have this really nice trend line resistance that we're kind of sitting at the moment. The daily chart has broken and closed through it, so we could see further upside to this market, which would suggest that the dollar would move lower in price. And if we just jump to the 4-hour chart again, kind of seeing that double top occurring where the dollar index shows the double bottom. So again, the only reason I'll ever get back into trading this is if we do see any lower lows coming back in, then I'll look to trade lower on this market. But until then, I have no reason to do so. So I'll be looking at the daily time frame to see if we can get any continuation, potentially longs up into this 1.1754 area. Got a little bit of support in there. So that's kind of going for the euro dollar as well. So if we do see that dollar weakness, we could expect the market to jump up into kind of the next area of resistance, which is around this level up here. Pound US dollar, pound is fairly weak, has been. If we just go to the weekly chart, you know, looking for pullbacks into that 1.3. If you were looking for buys on that, yeah, last week you could have had some potential decent trades. You know, looking at the 4-hour chart, nothing too healthy here. We're not really at an area of support or resistance, so I'll be waiting for the market to either jump back into this 1.3 or jump down into this 1.2 area, just through 1.27s down in here for potential double bottom trade or a break for continuation. But other than that, nothing really for me at the minute. If we see it back into 1.3s, we could look for some short positions, or if we do break through, we could potentially look for some long positions as well. There's always two sides to the coin, and we need to be prepared for all market situations. Okay. Aussie showed some strength. I mean, like Thursday, we saw a hell of a lot of weakness coming through on Aussie, and you know, Friday again shot back up and back at this resistance level up in here. So it's a little bit confusing at the moment what's going to happen with Aussie. If I just take a bigger picture view, we're still in that, you know, still in that weekly downtrend, but we're having a phase 2 effective at the moment. So if we do break out this weekly trend line just in here, we could see further upside in this market. You know, if the dollar significantly weakens, we could be seeing the highs of, you know, back up in here at the 8100s. So that could be interesting to look for. I know there's a lot of buyers in the Australian dollar market at the moment. We came into this sort of support area down in here around that 7200 area, and buyers step back in, and it looks to be the same again. So could this be our first higher low? Could we see a higher high before seeing that continuation to the upside? Just checking on to New Zealand US dollar. We're just very similar to the Aussie dollar, and you can see that we're at this trend line resistance just running through. So if we get a breakout of that, we can look for those long positions in Kiwi dollar, but until that happens, again, we've got to stay within the trend. It's still down. We've just got to be a little bit open-minded to see what could happen here. So it's almost like a crucial point for the dollar this week. Okay, so dollar CAD is sitting here as well at this big trend line support. You know, if we do get a breakdown, then we could see some significant downside coming into this market. But at the moment, we're at this huge support level. If I just go to the weekly chart and just zoom out, you can see this big support level at that 1.3 area. So we could see some buyers step back into the market within this channel, potentially head up to that 1.33. But again, we're at a critical area. We need the market to make a decision. It's not the cleanest charts, dollar CAD. So we need something to occur around here before taking any kind of action. Dollar Swiss is obviously showing that Swissy strength, which we'll touch on in a second. The market's broken and closed a little bit lower out of this daily channel. So we could expect some Swiss strength to re-enter the market. If the market continues lower, especially, we'll see that dollar strength in play. So this could be a good market to look for some trading opportunities, as long as the dollar doesn't gain any particular strength. Dollar yen. Now, this is the reason why I think we might see some further yen weakness and some dollar strength. It's, we get a nice, sorry guys, a nice weekly finish, a nice bullish candle off the 20 moving average on the dollar yen. So if you were a weekly trader, if we get any breaks above that high, I could really see 114 coming into play. So just go to the daily chart. I think if we do get a break of that 112 area, we're going to see 114. We've had a nice breakout of this area just in here as well, this CTL. So any kind of pullbacks, we could look for some long positions on dollar yen. Just moving over to Euro Oz. Obviously, we saw a lot of strength coming into this pair. If we just look at the weekly chart, again, very nice bullish candle. So that could be a statement for a continuation into the coming weeks at this area of resistance. However, so we do need to see some bullish price action coming into play through here. There's some 4 hours setting up quite nicely, I suppose, at the moment. But we're in the daily phase 2 now. We could look for the market to pull back a little bit further before seeing a continuation higher. Another chart of interest was Euro Pound. I was potentially looking for some short opportunities, but it didn't occur, and the market broke out and closed above. So if we just take a look at the weekly chart, the next sort of point of resistance for this market is up here around that 9.3 area, just up here. If we go to a daily chart and just zoom out, you can see that as well in there. So could we see this market really rally now and see that pound weakness coming into play? Any kind of if the market continues and then pulls back a little bit in a phase 2, I'll be looking for that phase 2 to turn into phase 1 and that continuation up into this resistance. Nothing really on the pound pairs. Pound CAD and pound Swiss are kind of at support areas, so I can't do anything with those currently. New Zealand CAD is at a crucial area as well. If we get a breakout of this trend line, we could see the market rally higher. One of the interesting pairs for me is gold, and the fact that we've broken out of this CTL. Now, if I go to a weekly chart, we've kind of had our first bullish week in a while. So it'd be nice to see if the market could pull back a little bit and we can get onto some long trades. So you can see that we've broken that 1200, closed above. We could look for some long trades through to next week, a nice little pullback into the level and continuations. So anything that looks like this, very shallow pullback on Monday would be really nice to see a continuation on Tuesday perhaps. So this is what I'll be watching for on gold. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, leave some comments down below. If you like the video, please like it, and if you feel that it's good enough to share with your friends, please do so. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.